Here's something most people don't realize. Even while you sleep, especially during sleep, your body is actively deciding, do I build muscle or break it down? And that decision? It's not just based on how hard you trained or how much protein you crammed in during the day. It's heavily shaped by what and when you eat in the last 90 minutes before sleep. We tend to glorify what happens in the gym, but the truth is your muscle growth or loss is driven by what happens after the workout, when your body is off the clock and supposed to be repairing. That repair is chemical, it's hormonal, and it's deeply affected by your nighttime nutrition. Here's what the latest science shows. During deep sleep, your body enters a peak state of regeneration. Growth hormone surges. Muscle protein synthesis, the process of building new muscle fibers, ramps up. This is your body's most anabolic window. But if your system doesn't have the right nutrients to fuel that recovery, or worse, if your blood sugar and insulin are unstable, the body flips into a catabolic state. Instead of rebuilding muscle, it starts breaking it down. This is even more critical if you're over 40, when levels of testosterone, IGF-1, and other anabolic hormones start to naturally decline. At that point, your body is already leaning toward catabolism, meaning muscle gets broken down faster and rebuilt slower. And one of the hidden drivers of this silent muscle loss? Poor nutrition before bed. What's happening inside you at night is nothing short of remarkable. Coordinated hormone cycles, nutrient-sensing pathways, and shifts in neurotransmitters, all dictating whether you'll wake up stronger or subtly weaker tomorrow. So if you want to stop the overnight breakdown and start leaning into true recovery and muscle preservation, the best lever you can pull is this. Get your pre-sleep nutrition right. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly what to eat and what to avoid before bed to protect your muscle, optimize hormone signaling, and even enhance muscle growth overnight. These aren't bro tips. They're real strategies backed by neuroscience, endocrinology, and human physiology. If this message hits, if you're serious about preserving strength and upgrading recovery, like the video so it reaches more people. Share this with someone over 30 who cares about staying strong. Subscribe and turn on notifications, because here we break down the tools that help you level up physically, mentally, and emotionally every day. Let's make your sleep an advantage, not a liability. Let's get into it. If you've ever asked yourself, does the kind of protein I eat before bed really matter? Science gives a clear, powerful answer. Yes, it matters more than you think. Here's the reality. When you sleep, your body enters a fasted state. For most people, that's 7 to 9 hours without food. And during that window, if your bloodstream runs low on amino acids, the essential building blocks of muscle, your body has no choice. It starts breaking down its own muscle tissue to fuel vital processes. That's where casein protein becomes a game-changing tool. Casein, one of the two primary proteins in milk, the other being whey, digests completely differently from what most people are used to. While whey protein is rapidly absorbed, spiking amino acid levels within 30 to 60 minutes, casein forms a slow-digesting gel in your stomach. The result? A steady drip feed of amino acids released into your bloodstream for the next 6 to 8 hours, exactly the time you're asleep and in peak recovery mode. This isn't just theory. A study out of Maastricht University, led by Dr. Luc van Loon, showed this in action. Participants who took 40 grams of casein before bed after an evening training session experienced significantly higher rates of overnight muscle protein synthesis than those who didn't. Their bodies kept rebuilding and repairing muscle throughout the night. Why does that matter? Because your body is always balancing between two states: anabolism, building and preserving muscle; catabolism, breaking muscle down. Whichever side has more support wins. So, if you go to bed with no amino acid support, especially after a workout, you're giving catabolism the upper hand. You're literally undoing some of your gains while you sleep. That's why timing is critical. Not just what you eat during the day, but what you eat in the 60 to 90 minutes before sleep can determine whether your body builds or breaks down muscle overnight. So here's the practical protocol. About 30 to 60 minutes before bed, take 30 to 40 grams of muscular casein protein. Go for unsweetened or low-sugar options. For added benefit, mix in a tablespoon of healthy fat, like almond butter, to slow digestion even further and improve absorption. Now, maybe you're wondering, isn't eating before bed bad for sleep or metabolism? Not in this case. Casein is low on the glycemic index, doesn't spike insulin or blood sugar, and some research even shows it can enhance sleep quality due to its tryptophan and glycine content. So instead of going to bed depleted and risking muscle breakdown, you're giving your body the precise fuel it needs to repair, rebuild, and grow while you rest. It's a small shift, but the compound effect, night after night, week after week, especially if you're over 40, training hard or recovering from injury, can be massive. This is one of the most overlooked tools in nighttime recovery. Use it. Ever slammed a protein shake and thought, is this actually building muscle? Here's the surprising truth. It's not the total protein that triggers growth. It's one specific amino acid inside it. That amino acid? Leucine. Leucine is one of the 3 branched-chain amino acids, BCAAs, but it's in a league of its own. Why? Because leucine has a unique ability to flip the switch on mTOR, short for mechanistic target of rapamycin. mTOR is the master controller of muscle protein synthesis. Think of it like a light switch in your muscle cells. When it's on, your body is in growth mode, and leucine is the key that turns it on. Here's what the research makes clear. You need around 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine in a single dose to fully activate mTOR and trigger muscle building mode. That's called the leucine threshold, the minimum amount needed to stimulate growth, especially in people over 40, where something called anabolic resistance raises that threshold. One landmark study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that older adults who consumed a leucine-enriched protein blend before sleep had significantly better overnight muscle retention than those who drank the same amount of protein, but with less leucine. So what does this mean for you? Even if you're not eating a full meal before bed, getting enough leucine through food or supplementation can keep your body in an anabolic, muscle-preserving state through the night. Here's your actionable protocol. If you're using casein protein before bed, make sure it delivers at least 2.5 grams of leucine per serving. Most high-quality casein powders do, but check the label to be sure. If your shake's a little light, add a leucine supplement, either standalone or as part of a clean BCAA blend. Prefer real food? Try 2 boiled eggs plus 1/2 cup of cottage cheese equals approximately 3 grams of leucine. Or slices of turkey breast plus a few walnuts for healthy fat plus leucine power. These combinations give you sustained amino acid release and enough leucine to hit the threshold. That means your body stays in repair mode all night long, instead of drifting into muscle breakdown. Now, let's zoom out. This isn't just about aesthetics or chasing bigger biceps. Leucine plays a critical role in metabolic health, glucose control, and even brain function because of how it supports neurotransmitter synthesis. And here's a harsh truth most people never hear. The average adult loses 3 to 8% of their muscle mass per decade after age 30. After 60, that loss accelerates. Fast. But here's the kicker. It's not inevitable. Not if you supply your body with the right molecular tools at the right time. So if this insight hit home, if you're starting to realize there's a smarter way to fuel recovery and long-term strength, consider subscribing. We break down science-backed tools like this every single week, all designed to help you build a stronger body, sharper mind, and longer life. Let's fight muscle loss before it starts. Leucine isn't just a supplement, it's a strategy. Up next is insulin. Insulin is one of the most misunderstood hormones when it comes to muscle health, especially at night. Most people associate it strictly with blood sugar control, and yes, that's a major part of its role. But what often gets overlooked is that insulin is also deeply involved in muscle protein metabolism. It acts as a transporter, helping shuttle amino acids, the building blocks of muscle, into your cells. It also plays a critical role in reducing muscle protein breakdown. In that sense, insulin is anabolic. It helps you build and preserve lean mass. But like any powerful tool, insulin has to be used with precision. Because when it's elevated at the wrong time, or in the wrong way, it can become a roadblock to your body's overnight recovery. Research published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism showed that consuming high glycemic meals before bed caused a rapid spike in insulin levels, which was then followed by a sharp drop in growth hormone secretion. That's a big deal. Growth hormone is your body's master repair hormone. It fuels tissue recovery, fat metabolism, and even collagen production. And it naturally peaks during the first few hours of deep sleep, when your brain and body are in full regeneration mode. But here's the catch. Elevated insulin, especially from sugar or refined carbs, blunts that natural growth hormone peak. The result? Your body's ability to recover, rebuild, and regenerate through the night is compromised. So now you're in a hormonal tug-of-war. On one side, you need insulin to help drive amino acids into the muscle and support recovery. On the other, too much insulin, especially at night, can hijack your hormonal balance and sabotage the exact repair processes you're trying to support. So how do you find the balance? It comes down to smarter pre-sleep nutrition. First, avoid high glycemic foods before bed. That means skipping sugary cereals, white bread, fruit juice, sweetened yogurts, and anything overly processed. These foods spike your blood sugar and flood your system with insulin, just as your body is trying to wind down and release growth hormone. That hormonal collision can throw off your recovery rhythm for the entire night. Second, focus on low glycemic, protein-forward foods. Think casein protein, cottage cheese, boiled eggs, or unsweetened Greek yogurt with chia seeds. These options digest slowly, keep blood sugar stable, and provide a steady trickle of amino acids, giving you just enough insulin to support muscle repair without overwhelming your system. Third, add in healthy fats. A spoonful of almond butter, a few walnuts, or some ground flaxseed can slow gastric emptying and blunt the insulin response even further. This keeps your hormonal environment stable, allowing insulin to do its job, without stepping on growth hormone's toes. Think of it like this. Insulin is your delivery truck. It brings the materials your muscles need to grow. But if it shows up blaring the horn, crashing through the gates while growth hormone is trying to do delicate maintenance work, you've got a problem. It's about coordination, not domination. So if your current bedtime snack involves a bowl of cereal or a glass of wine, it might be doing more harm than you realize. It's not just your sleep quality that suffers. It's your recovery, your muscle mass, and your long-term metabolic health. The damage adds up slowly. A little less growth hormone here, a little more muscle breakdown there. Weeks turn into months, and suddenly your strength, body composition, and energy levels are slipping, and you can't quite figure out why. The good news? You can fix this, and it starts tonight. Build a pre-sleep routine that pairs moderate, slow-digesting protein with low-glycemic, anti-inflammatory foods. Do it consistently, and you'll harness insulin's muscle-preserving power without silencing the critical hormonal signals your body depends on to recover and rebuild. Ever wake up from a deep, restful sleep and feel subtly stronger, lighter, even more dialed in? That's not a fluke. That's biology working in your favor. Growth hormone peaking, inflammation dropping, and protein synthesis humming in the background. That's what happens when you give your body the right tools at the right time. But there's a hidden barrier most people never even think about, one that quietly disrupts your ability to recover overnight, even if you're eating right and training hard. If your nervous system is overstimulated before bed from stress, caffeine, late-night screens, or even a poor diet, it becomes nearly impossible to enter and maintain the deep sleep stages your body needs to rebuild and repair muscle. That's where two of the most underrated yet powerful nutrients come in: glycine and magnesium. Let's start with glycine. This simple amino acid does something incredibly smart. It lowers your core body temperature, one of the key signals your brain uses to trigger deep sleep. It also acts as an inhibitory neurotransmitter, meaning it helps quiet the brain circuits associated with racing thoughts, overthinking, and late-night anxiety loops. In a 2007 study published in Sleep and Biological Rhythms, participants who took just 3 grams of glycine before bed reported significantly improved sleep quality, faster time to fall asleep, and better morning alertness. This has been confirmed across multiple human trials. What's happening here is profound. Glycine increases parasympathetic tone, your rest and digest state, while dialing down the sympathetic nervous system, that fight-or-flight mode that keeps your brain wired and tense. That shift opens the door to deeper, more regenerative sleep, the kind where growth hormone surges, inflammation drops, and muscle repair kicks into high gear. Now, pair that with magnesium, and you've got a recovery game-changer. Magnesium is involved in over 300 critical biochemical reactions, but when it comes to sleep and muscle health, its most vital role is regulating GABA, the brain's primary calming neurotransmitter. GABA helps reduce neural excitation, making it easier not just to fall asleep, but to stay asleep, and specifically to stay in the restorative stages that protect and rebuild muscle tissue. But here's the problem. Magnesium deficiency is rampant. Thanks to modern farming, soil depletion, chronic stress, and highly processed diets, even a mild magnesium shortfall can cause fragmented sleep, nighttime cramps, and elevated cortisol levels. And cortisol? It's catabolic. It breaks down muscle. So when magnesium runs low, you set off a chain reaction: poor sleep, higher cortisol, and greater overnight muscle loss. Here's how to turn this around. Try this simple bedtime protocol. Glycine plus magnesium, taken 30 to 60 minutes before sleep. Use 3 to 5 grams of glycine powder, or capsules, paired with 300 to 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate or magnesium threonate, 2 highly bioavailable forms that are easy on the gut. For an added edge, combine this with a light, protein-rich snack like cottage cheese or a scoop of casein. You'll support muscle protein synthesis, blunt cortisol, and promote deeper, more restorative sleep, all at the same time. Prefer whole foods. Glycine is naturally found in bone broth, gelatin, and skin-on poultry. Magnesium-rich foods include pumpkin seeds, spinach, almonds, and yes, dark chocolate. Just be mindful of the caffeine if you're eating it late. And one final step. After your glycine-magnesium routine, dim your lights, reduce screen time, and slow your breathing. This helps activate your parasympathetic nervous system and locks in the sleep benefits at a neurological level. This is how you build a body that recovers while you rest. Not just sleep deeper, but wake up stronger. If this kind of deep dive science is clicking with you, hit like, drop a comment with what you'll try tonight, and subscribe. Because this channel is about turning neuroscience, physiology, and elite recovery tactics into daily habits that change your biology from the inside out. Let's keep going. We've got more coming up. Let's zoom out for a second and look at something that most people never think about: timing. Because even if you're eating the right foods before bed, if you're eating them at the wrong time, you're unintentionally sabotaging your recovery, your hormones, and your muscle gains. Here's why it matters. Your body runs on an internal 24-hour clock, your circadian rhythm. This isn't just about sleep. It controls hormone release, metabolism, digestion, and muscle repair. And if you eat too late, especially within 60 minutes of lying down, you disrupt that entire clockwork. Research published in the journal Nutrients makes this clear. Late-night meals delay melatonin, blunt growth hormone spikes, and fragment deep sleep. That's the very sleep window where your body is supposed to repair, burn fat, and build lean muscle. When digestion is active at the wrong time, your body stays in stress mode. Core temperature stays elevated, recovery slows, and instead of growth, you get breakdown. Now here's the part most people miss. Even healthy foods can hurt if mistimed. So if you're hitting the gym, dialing in your nutrition, but still waking up groggy, inflamed, or under-recovered, this might be why. So what's the fix? 1. Anchor your last full meal 2 to 3 hours before bed. Let your body digest, cool down, and start shifting into recovery mode. 2. If you're hungry closer to bedtime, use a light, slow-digesting protein source. Think casein, cottage cheese, or a collagen plus glycine combo. These support amino acid levels through the night without spiking insulin or digestion demands. 3. Avoid alcohol, heavy fats, and sugar late at night. They may feel relaxing, but metabolically, they're disruptive. They interfere with your deep sleep, blunt growth hormone, and lead to overnight catabolism, muscle breakdown. This one shift, adjusting when and how you eat in the evening, can make the difference between waking up stronger, leaner, more recovered, or slipping backward day by day. And the best part? Once your body learns this rhythm, it responds fast. Biology wants to heal, recover, and adapt. We just have to stop getting in the way. Up next, we're diving into the nervous system and why calming it before bed might be the secret weapon to better sleep, better recovery, and faster gains. Stick around. Let's hit pause and recap the 6 science-backed tools we've covered so far, the ones that could completely change how your body recovers, repairs, and builds muscle overnight. 1. Pre-sleep protein intake, especially slow-digesting proteins like casein, isn't optional. It's strategic. It feeds your muscles the raw materials they need to stay in an anabolic, growth-focused state while you sleep. No more fasting through the night and waking up weaker. 2. Leucine is the trigger. Not all proteins are created equal. Leucine, an essential amino acid, acts like a switch for mTOR, the master regulator of muscle protein synthesis. If you're not getting enough of it before bed, your muscle-building pathways may never even turn on. 3. Micronutrients like magnesium, zinc, and vitamin D are silent heroes. You don't feel them working, but they regulate everything from muscle contraction to hormonal balance. Without them, even the best protein shake falls short. In the coming years, these will be the centerpiece of recovery and metabolic health strategies. 4. Timing is a game changer. It's not just what you eat, it's when. Eating the right nutrients too close to bedtime can disrupt sleep and blunt growth hormone. On the flip side, smart timing creates space for deep sleep, elevated muscle protein synthesis, and full recovery. 5. Tryptophan is more than a Thanksgiving meme. This essential amino acid isn't just responsible for making you drowsy. It's the foundation for serotonin and melatonin production. And melatonin doesn't just help you sleep. It protects muscle tissue, lowers cortisol, and enhances overnight repair. 6. Your nervous system sets the tone. Glycine and magnesium aren't just about falling asleep faster. They calm your brain, shift you into parasympathetic mode, and create the perfect internal environment for recovery to take place. Muscle repair doesn't happen in fight or flight. It happens in rest and rebuild. Now let's zoom out. Your body isn't broken. It's not falling apart. It's doing its best with the signals you're giving it. And if those signals are mistimed meals, chronic stress, low protein, and late-night sugar, you're sending the wrong message. But here's the good news. You can shift that starting tonight. No expensive supplements. No extreme changes. Just a deeper understanding of what your body needs and when it needs it. And here's the big takeaway. Your biology is on your side. It wants to recover. It wants to protect your muscle, stabilize your hormones, improve your sleep, and make you stronger tomorrow than you were today. All it needs is for you to meet it halfway. Here's the truth. Optimizing your health doesn't require a total lifestyle overhaul, just small strategic shifts grounded in science and repeated with consistency. One of the most powerful? Evening nutrition that works with your biology, not against it. By pairing tryptophan-rich foods like turkey, eggs, oats, or pumpkin seeds with a light carb source like banana, toast, or a small bowl of oats, you unlock a powerful neurological chain reaction. Tryptophan enters the brain more easily, boosting serotonin and melatonin production. Melatonin triggers deeper, more restorative sleep. And while you rest, muscle breakdown slows, inflammation drops, and your body switches into full recovery mode. This isn't about eating less or cutting carbs. It's about eating smarter and timing it right. That means finishing your last big meal 2 to 3 hours before bed, avoiding sugar and alcohol late at night, and giving your body the signal. Now is the time to rebuild. Because muscle isn't just about strength or looks, it's biological insurance. It supports your metabolism, your balance, your hormones, even your brain. So this is your call to action. If this helped you understand your body better, like, comment, and subscribe. Share this with someone you care about, someone who's trying to train harder, sleep better, or age stronger. We're just getting started. This channel is your science-backed roadmap to unlocking physical, mental, and emotional strength, one smart tool at a time. Let's build together.